Good morning, all of you. How are you all today? Happy? Sania, Sri Satya, Varshida, Harshit, Harshvardhan, Bhavyasri, Afnan. Very happy today, I think. Shall we start our session? Ready? Okay. Let me share the screen now. Students, you have been already informed that you will be having an examination, I mean FA1 examination next week. And you will have to prepare the second unit for that. Second unit, I mean A reading, B reading and C reading. And before the next week, you will have to finish your classwork book as well. Do you know the procedure of writing classwork book? In English, we have a separate system. Just let me show you that. Okay, so when you start writing your classwork book in the first page, right side, you will have to write your name, class, and if you want, you can write your school name as well. Not a problem. Okay, name, class, and it is must to write aim. I want to become a doctor. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a pilot. I want to become a software engineer, whatever you want to become, you will have to write it there, because whenever you open this book, you will have to keep this aim in your mind. It always gives you a little inspiration. So first page, once again, let me repeat it. First page, you will have to write your name, class, the name of the school and aim. It is must. And in the second page, you'll have to go ahead with these two: normal capital letters, normal small letters. Normal capital letter and normal small letters. And on the third page, go ahead with the cursive writing capital letter and cursive writing small letters. Cursive writing capital letters and cursive writing small letters. Are you all able to see the slide now? So in the beginning, you have two sections, normal capital letter, normal small letter, and down cursive writing capital letter, cursive writing small letter. So first page, name, class, aim. Second page, normal capital letter, normal small letter. Third page, uppercase, I mean cursive writing capital letters and cursive writing small letters. And then the fourth page, you'll have to go ahead with the 50 hard words. So already I have given here, you can just take a screenshot of it now. We have 2 pages. So fourth and fifth page, just take the screenshot now. Have you all taken the screenshot? Yes, next page. So hope you all have taken the screenshot, isn't it? Okay, see here students, you can see some small lines in between the word, in that word. So hyphens are there which separates the word into 2 or 3 parts. See here in the first word, solitary. Solitary. So each and every word is split into 2 or 3 parts here. What is the purpose? Because if you are not able to pronounce a word in a proper manner, it is always good to split the word into different parts, different parts, and try to read it. See the first one, solitary, solitary. See the second one, reflection, reflection, collapse, collapse, obsession, obsession, integral, integral, desperate, desperate, reinforce, reinforce, compassion, compassion, analyze, analyze, contrast, contrast, diversion, diversion. So whenever you see a difficult word, whenever you see a difficult word, if you don't know the pronunciation, you can split that word into 2 or 3 parts and try to read it. Then you will easily be able to understand it. This is how you can easily find out the pronunciation of a word. So see here, mandatory, mandatory, perception, perception, perception. See, survive, survive, disaster, disaster, terrestrial, terrestrial, expedition, expedition, fragments, fragments. So whenever you see a word, you don't get, if you don't know the pronunciation, just split that word into 2 or 3 parts, and you will be able to pronounce that word in a better manner. Always try to read it in such a manner that that can make your work easy. So in our school, we follow this system, writing a word with its syllables, especially when you write your classwork books. So be careful that in the glossary part, you will be having new words. Those all new words, you have to write with the syllables like this. You will have to write with the syllables like this. It will help you in a tremendous manner in case of reading. So whenever you see some tough words, you may not be able to read it properly. Then just split that word into 2 or 3 parts. You can easily understand the pronunciation of it. Suppose if you are able to read it, you may be trying, you may be getting a little bit of trouble with that word. Then you can split that. Catastrophe, catastrophe, contemplate, contemplate, enterprise, receive, receive, innovation, innovation. So this is a very, very easy way to understand the pronunciation of a particular word. Okay, next one. You will have to start writing your unit 2. That is what we have covered, isn't it? Unit 1 we didn't study, but we have started with unit 2. So go ahead with writing the first page, unit 2. Then title of the lesson. Whatever is the title of the lesson, that lesson title you have to write. Then go ahead with the glossary section. As I said earlier, in glossary you will be having a lot of hard words. You may be seeing that word for the first time. So such words should be written with syllables. You will have to refer to a dictionary and find out the syllables of that word. And meaning you can write as it is given in your textbook. Then it will be followed by question and answers. Then at the end of the lesson, end of the unit, each and every unit, you will be having 1 or 2 discourses. You know what is called a discourse. It may be a descriptive essay. It may be a letter writing, formal letter writing or informal letter writing. It may be a diary. It may be an invitation card. So lessons, classwork book writing procedure is that first you write a unit name and a lesson name, lesson heading, then go ahead with the glossary, which is given at the end of each and every lesson. And then go ahead with the questions and answers. Then finally, one discourse is must. So this discourse, you will get it from your writing part of your textbook. Writing part of, after each and every lesson, you will be having a writing part. So in that writing part, they will give you a poster, preparation of a poster, preparation of a notice, preparation of a diary. Maybe you will be asked to write a letter to your friend. You will be asked to write a biographical sketch of a famous personality. So this is all about the procedure of writing the classwork book. Once again, let me repeat it. First of all, you don't forget about the examination which is being held next week. Next week, you will be having FA1 examination of 20 marks. And you have to prepare Unit 2 for that. Before, you will be getting 1 or 2 days holidays. On those days, you will have to finish your second unit classwork book. So classwork book is starting with the front page, name, class, school name, and subject. Don't forget about the subject. I have forgotten to mention it here. Subject, and along with your aim. Aim is must. Second page, normal capital letter, normal small letter. Third page, cursive writing capital letter, cursive writing small letter. Fourth page, first 30 words. And in the fifth page, the remaining 20 hard words. Then you start writing your classwork book. So that's what I want. And here we go with our lesson. So I hope you all understood how to write classwork book. Then let me make the slide enlarged here. I think you all can see it in a better manner now, isn't it? So class 8 English Unit 3 A reading, The Selfish Giant Part 1. So the aim of this lesson is to make the student understand the importance of humanity. What do you mean by humanity? It's nothing but you have to consider other human beings as your brother or sister. You have to consider other human beings as your brother or sister. Okay, and our today's agenda is introduction, vocabulary, explanation, and homework. Let's get down to the introduction. I mean vocabulary section here. The first word is rattle. Rattle. Rattle, it means make short, sharp knocking sounds. Knocking. Someone knocked at the door. How do they knock? Using their knuckles. They knock. So rattle, it means the sound which is made when someone knocks. Make short, sharp knocking sounds. Slates. Next one is slates. You know already about the slate, which you are using in your school to write. So this slate is different from that slate. You see here a fine-grained gray, green, or bluish purple metamorphic rock easily split into smooth, flat plates. So you could see this house on the top roof is arranged with a lot of slates here. Can you all see this picture here? Yes. Slates, it means a fine-grained gray, green, or bluish purple metamorphic rock easily split into smooth, flat plates. Next word. Chimney pots. You could see chimney pots here. So you may be having chimney pots at your home as well, isn't it? So this is what is called a chimney pots. So you could see at the top here for chimney pots. You could see here. Next one, hail. What do you mean by hail? Small hard balls of ice. Small hard balls of ice that falls from the sky like rain. So balls of ice that comes from the sky like rain, that is called a hail. You might have heard about hailstorm. So if you don't know this word, you could see the picture here. On the road, there are a lot of hail. So small hard balls of ice that falls from the sky like rain is known as hail. Next one, wrapped. W-R-A-P-P-E-D. That letter W is silent there. It will be pronounced as wrap. So wrap, it means covered or dressed. Covered or dressed. So see here students, wrapper. You know what is called a wrapper? Chocolate wrappers. Chocolate wrappers. The paper or that plastic cover in which we wrap the chocolates. That is called wrapper. So here wrapped it means covered or dressed. Covered or dressed. Rejoiced. Rejoiced it means expressed great happiness. Rejoiced. Rejoice. Express great happiness. Delightful. Very pleasant. Delightful it means very pleasant. Cloak. Cloak it means a type of coat that has no sleeves. Especially you use cloak when during winter season. During winter season to protect your body from cold. So cloak, this cloak, CLO CK cloak is different and this is another cloak. So CLO AK cloak, it means a dress which protects you from cold, a type of coat that has no sleeves. So once again, let's go through the again. Okay, once again, let's go through the vocabulary section here. First word is rattle. It means make short, sharp knocking sound. Slates. You could see the picture here. On the roof, you could see a lot of slates here and chimney pots. Hail. It means small hard balls of ice that falls from the sky like rain. And wrapped it means covered or dressed, rejoiced, expressed great happiness. Delightful it means very pleasant, and cloak it's a coat that protects you from cold during winter season. And you could see a giant personality here. Giant. Giant it means a human like being. A human like being with a great body. With a great body. See in this picture. Is it a normal human being? It's not a normal human being. It's a human-like being, but it has very large body. When you see a giant, you will be afraid. So, in many stories, we have many stories with giants. Okay, here we go. Unit 3. Reading A, The Selfish Giant, Part 1, and reading B, The Selfish Giant, Part 2, and finally we have reading C, The Garden Within a Poem. And the theme of this lesson is humanity. So, after this lesson, you may be understanding what is humanity. You should always have love and affection towards somebody. You should always have sympathy towards others. And here is a picture in which the greatest personality of India, one of the greatest personalities of India, Mother Teresa. Here she had been nursing a child, taking care of a child. You see, she used to stay in Calcutta, especially in Calcutta streets. You could see a lot of children wandering here and there without having proper food, dress, and shelter. So she used to help everyone there. She used to give them good education. She used to give them food. She used to give them dress and shelter as well. She was a great human being. So in this lesson, you are going to learn humanity. That's why the picture is given here. And in the next page, you could see a small girl like you. Her age and your age may be the same. She is going and giving some food to a beggar on the roadside. So have you ever given some money or food to beggars? Yes or no? Yes. Very good. Sushmita Kamble. Is that Kamble? Nice name. Okay. A girl is giving some food to a beggar here. What do you notice in the picture? So the girl felt sympathy and she gives some food to a beggar on the roadside. What would be the feelings of the man in the picture? The man will be feeling great happiness, and he may show his gratitude towards her as well. He is very thankful to her, isn't it? Okay, you could see that man, he is very weak. He is unable to walk maybe, and see the appearance of the person. He uses some clothes which were torn. So his situation is not so good. When you are living with all comfort at your home, there are people outside suffering too much. There are people outside suffering too much. You have everything at your home, isn't it? Maybe AC, a refrigerator, washing machine, fridge, TV. But you see, there are many people staying outside with all these facilities. You are getting 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times food, isn't it? You are getting 2 or 3 plates when you eat your meals. Your mother will be very happy when you eat 2 or 3 times, isn't it? She may not be happy when she gives you 1 plate of rice. When you complete it, your mother will be giving you more food. But when you can see at the same time, you can see some of the children from our country, especially in Africa and all, they are getting only 1 time food in a day. Can you imagine such a situation? No, it will be very horrible. So if you were given food only 1 time a day, what would you do? You will start scolding your father and mother. And next, have you ever seen such incidents? What is your opinion on them? Have you ever seen such incidents? You might have seen a lot of incidents like that, isn't it? You might have felt sympathy towards those people. Maybe you might have thought about them for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Later, you forget it, isn't it? Later, you might have forgotten. You have never thought. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes you might have felt sympathy. Then you start forgetting that. Lesson, the selfish giant. Here, part one. We have part one and part two. Old giant and the giant refer to the same character. And it's a drama, it's a play. It is a play. You could see a lot of conversation here in this play. Old giant and the giant refer to the same character. The giant is a selfish character, whereas old giant is a changed and kind character. So the giant is a selfish character. Selfish. What do you mean by selfish? Are you all selfish? Selfish, it means you may be thinking only about you. You don't consider others' feelings or others' situation. You think only about yourself and you wanted to be happy always, whether your neighbor, your friends, whether they are happy or not, that's none of your business. If you think in such a manner, you are a selfish person. Old giant and the giant refers to the same character. Here, the giant is a selfish character. Don't forget that in your examination, it's a very common question. Who is selfish character? The giant. So to confuse you, the giant, old giant or something will be given. So the giant is a selfish character, whereas the old giant is a changed and kind character. So the giant, the old giant, both are same personalities. In the beginning, he was a selfish character. Later, he has become a changed and a kind character. So kind, what is the opposite word of kind? Cruel. Okay, let's start our lesson. An old giant addresses the audience directly. So this drama or this play is presented on a stage. So here, when the curtain raises, the old giant comes to the scene and speaks the audience directly. The action plays out behind him as he describes it. So let's get into it. Old giant. I once owned a large, lovely garden with a soft green grass. So our old giant, I once owned. Owned, it means he was the owner of a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. We all love to live in a villa. Villa. You know what is called a villa? A house on a garden. So around your house, if there is a beautiful garden, have you ever seen the Europeans' house? In India, we have a different system. If one house is there, it is just like matchbox only, our arrangement of houses. But villas, a house standing on a garden, how beautiful it would be, isn't it? In the middle of the garden, your house, a villa. Would you like to live in a villa? Everyone loves to, isn't it? See, I once found a large, lovely garden with a soft green grass. Here and there, over the grass, stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. In that garden, what happens here and there over the grass to beautiful flowers like stars. So here flowers are compared with the stars that you see at night. So here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars. And there were 12 peach trees. And there were 12 peach trees. It's a kind of tree that gives you peach fruits. And there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime, spring season. We know about summer season, winter season, isn't it? We have some other seasons also. Summer, winter, rainy, spring season also. In spring season, what happens? The flowers will blossom and the trees will start giving you fruits. Trees will start giving you fruits. So that season is known as spring season. So in springtime, what happens? Broke out into delicate blossoms. It produces beautiful flowers. It produces beautiful flowers. And what kind of flowers? What colored flowers? Blossoms of pink and pearl. Pink and pearl. And in the autumn season, this is autumn. AUTUMN. Maybe a little bit confused with the pronunciation. This is not autumn. This is autumn. Autumn season bore rich fruit. So spring season, the garden is filled with a lot of beautiful flowers. And in the autumn season, the giant used to get a lot of fruits. So if there is a garden, if you have a small place in front of your house, you can grow small plants there, a mango tree, or some other trees that gives you fruits. When you get married, when you have kids, at least they could get mangoes, isn't it? Isn't it? In Kerala, we do like that. If we have some place, there should be a mango tree. There should be a jackfruit tree. So this is a very common thing in Kerala, in our houses. So we don't want to buy mangoes from outside because we are growing it in our house itself. And in Kerala, we have the habit of having owning 2 or 3 coconut trees also. So whenever we want the coconuts, we can get it from our own place. We don't want to buy it. So if we have a garden, if we have some place in front of our house, we can make use of it. Okay. The birds sat on the trees. So you see, the birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. So a lot of children, they used to come to my garden. They stopped playing games. For what purpose? To listen to the beautiful music being sung by the birds. To listen to the beautiful music being sung by the birds. So such type of beautiful and attractive song it was. Sometimes even the children, they stopped playing their games and they started listening to the music of the birds. So once again, let me explain that paragraph. I once owned, so here the old giant says that, I once owned a large lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the spring broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. So you observe that sentence, it's a very long sentence. Almost how many words it has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 words in that sentence. It's a very, very long sentence, isn't it? Okay, what says in that sentence? So, over the grass, there was beautiful flowers. So, flowers are produced or made in the springtime. And the autumn season, the giant used it to get a rich fruit. And the children, they come to the garden, they play there, and sometimes they stop playing games to listen to the beautiful songs being sung by the birds sitting on or perching on the branches of the trees. So if you have, you imagine that you have a house like that, which stands in the middle of a garden with a lot of trees around. How beautiful it would be. You can call your friends to that garden. You can take some fruits from the trees and you can give it to your friends. It will be a different experience, isn't it? It would be a great experience for all of you. And see, every afternoon, as they were coming from school, who were coming from school? The children. The children used to go and play in my garden. But one day I came back. Every afternoon, what happened? In European countries, we know that they have classes up to afternoon only. Up to afternoon only. Maybe 1 o'clock or 1:30, they close their school, and the remaining time, the children stay at home and they go to their garden. Maybe they will be playing there. In India, we have a different system, isn't it? From 9 to 5 o'clock, we have class. But in European countries or the developed countries, they have classes from morning 8 o'clock to 12:30 or 1 o'clock. That's all. So see here, every afternoon, the children, when they're coming from school, the children used to go and play in my garden. They come to my garden and play. But one day I came back. One day I came back. So the giant, the old giant was away from the house. When the old giant was not there, the children used to come to the garden and started playing there. You know that the giant is a great personality. Once you see the giant, you will be afraid, you will get scared and you will move away from there. So the giant was not there, so that the children used to come to the garden and the children used to play a lot of games in the giant's garden. But one day, what happened? The giant came back. I had been to visit my friend, the Cornish ogre. So where did the giant go? The giant went to visit his friend, the Cornish ogre, and had stayed with him for 7 years. For almost 7 years, the giant had been away from his house. So the children in the neighborhood, they used to enjoy a lot. They used to come to the giant's garden and they used to play a lot of games because the giant was not there. And the giant went to visit his friend Cornish ogre, and the giant stayed there about 7 years. After the 7 years were over, when you go to a friend, you will stay at his home for 7 years. No, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, isn't it? But here, the giant went to visit his friend Cornish ogre and stayed there for 7 years. After the 7 years were over, I had said all that I had to say. So after 7 years, our old giant said to Cornish ogre, my dear friend, I want to leave for my house. I want to leave for my house. And I determined to return to my own castle. I determined to return to my own castle. Castle, it means a house which looks like a small palace. Which looks like a small palace. Especially built with hard rocks. Especially built with hard rocks. Okay, see here. When I arrived, I saw children playing in my garden after 7 years. After 7 years, the giant came back to his own house or own castle. When he arrived, he saw many children. They are playing in the garden of the the old giant. Okay, let me read that paragraph once again. I had been to visit my friend, the Cornish ogre, and had stayed with him for 7 years. After the 7 years were over, I had said all that I had to say, and I decided to return to my own home, my own castle. When I arrived, I saw children playing in my garden. The giant, what are you doing here? The children run away. So when the giant saw the children playing in his garden, he got angry. He didn't want anybody to play in his garden. That's why he asked, what are you doing here? The children started running. The giant, my own garden is my own garden. This is my own garden. You can anyone can understand that. You have to understand that this is my garden and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself. See here, the giant is a cruel person, isn't it? The giant said that this is my own garden. You can understand that. And I will never allow anybody to play in it. Only I will play in my garden. This is what the giant said. He is very cruel. He is not kind. Usually people are very kind towards small children, isn't it? But here the giant, he is very cruel. He is unkind. And he said that this is my garden. You can understand that I will not allow you to play in it. And I will play myself in this garden. The old giant points out the younger giant working on a wall, putting up a sign and then listening at the wall. The old giant points out the younger giant working on a wall. So they are doing something on the wall, putting up a sign and then listening at the wall. Old giant. So I built a high wall all around and put up a notice board. So the giant had seen children playing in his garden. So he wanted to avoid that situation. He didn't like children playing in his garden. That's why he built a high wall around, a fence or a wall around the garden and put up a notice board. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Trespassers. You know what is called a trespasser? A trespasser is a person who enters into a building or who enters into a place without permission. Without a permission. Trespasser. Trespasser, it means you enter into somebody's place without his or her permission. You enter into a place without getting permission from the owner. Then you will be known as a trespasser. So trespasser is the person who enters into a place or a building without their permission. Got it? So here, old giant. So I built a high wall all around and put up a notice board. And he put up a notice board there. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Prosecuted, it means trespassers will be punished. I heard the children whispering outside the wall on their way to school. Then the giant heard the children whispering. Whispering, it means speak with a low voice. Low voice. And you should not be overheard. That is the main purpose. You should not be overheard. So I hear the children whispering. So whispering, it means speaking in somebody's ears, because your intention is that you are making a secret conversation. I heard the children whispering outside the wall on their way to school. What the children whispering? So we have a lot to learn and the time is up now. So we will close the session with this slide here, and the next slide will be taken in the next session. Okay, and before concluding the session, I would like to tell you one thing, that you have to prepare the second unit for your examination. Don't forget that you have to take it very seriously, as you aren't been doing anything for the past 4 or 5 months. So prepare well and attend the examination. And the next thing is homework. Your homework is writing your classwork book. Write it with a neat handwriting. Your handwriting should be excellent. When you get back to your school on January month, your teacher should be stunned by seeing your classwork book. Okay. That's all for today, and goodbye all. Have a nice day.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Shanvi Learning Services. Welcome to biology session. So today I would like to continue yesterday's like how to write CW. Here we have to write that flow charts like animal tissue, plant tissues. Okay, like the types categories. Okay, here we have animal tissue. This is again classified into four like epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nerve tissue, muscle tissue. Like that, we have to write in a flow chart manner. Later words, you can go for the right hormones. Okay, so like what is a hormone, and after giving that information about a hormone, you have to draw the diagram. Somewhat related to that, you have to draw the diagram. Next, here in every textbook, you will have academic standards. Every textbook will have academic standards. So in that academic standards, we have here 7 academic standards. The first one is conceptual understanding. Second one is asking questions and making hypotheses. And third one, experimentation and field investigation. And fourth one, information skills and projects. Next, communication through drawing, model making. Next one, appreciation and aesthetic sense values. Next, last one, application to daily life, concern to biodiversity. These are the academic standards or given for biology. In your textbook, these all are available. So by putting your academic standards heading, you have to write these all. Okay, and you have to give explanation also. For example, here conceptual understanding is there. Conceptual understanding is there. So here children are able to explain some examples like, okay, so children are able to explain like that. You have to give a explanation for that particular concept understanding. Like children are able to explain, set examples, give reasons, and give comparisons and differences. Explain the process of given concepts in the textbook. Children are able to develop their own brain mappings. So, like that, explanation is also given. You can mention these are 7 academic standards. Later words, you have to go for the next one. See, now keywords. So you have to mention all lessons here. So here in this 8th class, you will have total 11 lessons. In that 11 lessons, what is science? And tell the basic unit of life. Next, the world of microorganism, part 1 and part 2. And reproduction in animals, the age of adolescence, biodiversity and its conservation. Next, different ecosystems. Next, production of food from plants. Next, production of food from animals. Not for breathing, not for drinking. Why do we fall ill? These are the lessons which are in that 8th class. 11 total 11 lessons are there. So every lesson you just take and mention that particular topic name. What is science? And from that you just collect some of keywords or new words, and you just write syllables for that collected keywords, and you just give meaning of the word also. So here I'm showing you an example of a 10th class, like Thailand is there, PTYALIN. See here, PTY space A space LIN. So like the syllables you have to write, and later an amylase is found in the saliva of animals. Like that, there's some meaning you have to write about that. Okay. So you have to collect 5 or 10 keywords or new words from that lesson by reading, and you just try to give the syllables of that particular word, keyword, and you just give explanation or meaning for that. So if you complete that, what is science? Then you can go for the cell, the basic unit of life. Next, you can go for the world of microorganism part 1 and part 2 and reproduction in animals. Like that, you can complete total 11 lessons. Okay, after the academic standards. Now, after completion of that particular words and syllables and meanings, you can go for the lesson 1. Now here, it is a 10th class slide. Now, what you will write in this first, what is science? What is science? So, you have to write beautifully the what is science and in the style sheet. So, this is a style sheet, lesson 1. So, what is science is your first lesson. In that, what should express what theme is there in that particular lesson. Okay. So here in this 10th class, first lesson nutrition food supplying system, this particular diagram is expressing like plants are making their own food. So by utilizing carbon dioxide, sunlight and water from the soil. So like that here, what is science? Like you have to write what is science and in that with the help of microscope, we are observing something like that. Any like suitable diagram you have to select and draw in that style sheet. So by observing that, by looking at that particular picture, the person should know what is the concept of the particular topic. So like that you have to make the style sheet. Okay, laterwards you can go for the see like this very beautifully you have to draw the diagrams and you have to write a beautiful title of the particular lesson. Okay, next you can go for the again now keywords. Now already we have written sir after academic standards before the style sheet, and then here what are the keywords should write here. So these keywords, after mentioning your lesson name as a style sheet and after drawing the diagram in the style sheet, you have to put a keyword heading and write what keywords are given backside of your lesson. Okay, see here in what is science. What is all of you? See, okay, now see here, your first lesson is what is science. So backside of the lesson, there is no keywords, there is no question answers. So we have to collect from lesson. Okay, but here second lesson, cell the basic unit of life. You will have a keywords here backside of your lesson. That is cell, cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, unicellular, multicellular organ, and organelles, and xenopodia, staining, magnification, and focusing. Like that, from backside of your lesson, you just collect that keywords and write here. In that particular lesson, you can write and same as it is, you can write syllables and meanings also. Okay, after the keywords, you can go for the improve your learning. In improve your learning, you will have a like some different type of questions. So for that questions, you just write the question with a black pen and don't use here a red pen for writing questions. Okay, because like teachers can use a pink or red pen to do the correction. Okay, so next you have to use black pen for questions and blue pen for answers. Here you have to write answers like this, and if any diagram needed, you just draw the diagrams in that particular answer. So like examples I am showing you, like this you have to draw the diagrams. Okay, And laterwards you can go for the fill in the blanks. The complete the fill in the blanks or multiple choice. Laterwards you can go for the activity. See here, your teacher will give some of activities. Okay, what you have to draw. So by the guidelines of your teacher, you have to draw the diagrams in this activity, or you just what diagrams are not covered in the question answers. What diagrams are not covered in the question answers, the diagrams you can draw in the activity. See here, like photosynthesis, hydrolyl experiment, and like buccal cavity, like that written in 10th class. Okay, so you will have a different types of like unicellular organisms like chlamydomonas amoeba, escherichia coli, or nerve cell, different type of muscle cells, right? So like many diagrams are there in your like lesson number 2. And so what diagrams are covered in the question answers, you no need to draw that. The rest of the diagrams you have to draw in the activity. So with the pencil you have to draw, don't use pen. And after drawing that, if needed, you can color that diagrams to get a beautiful look. Okay. And after drawing that, then lesson will be complete. Next, if you want to write next lesson, you can start with the style sheet again. And after in the style sheet and that particular lesson related diagram, oral diagram. Next, after the diagram, you can go for the keywords. After the keywords, you can go for the improve learning. Next, after the improve learning, you just go for the question and question answers. After that, fill in the blanks or multiple choice. Laterwards, next, you can go for the activities. Okay. So these are the ways to follow the right CW. I repeat once again. Please listen carefully. Yesterday's and today's within 5 minutes. So first of all, here name sheet you have to start. So in this name sheet, like you will have a name, class, subject, okay, and the school name, rule number, teacher name, like this. Okay, formalities. Later words you can go for the alphabets. In that alphabets, normal capital letters, normal small letters, and cursive capital, cursive small letters. Okay, and the next you can go for the branches of science, as I have shown yesterday some slides like gramminology, okay, dermatology, cardiology, like that. Branches of science you have to write. Next, proteins and vitamins. Okay, so like categorize and write. Okay, cell, tissue, muscle, and then coming to next category, microorganisms like bacteria, virus, fungi. Next, like that. So you just try to cover all basics. Next, vitamins, hormones, like that. Okay, so you have to categorize and write the total basics related to biology. Okay, next, if any like flow charts you can mention. Next, hormones, like that, all you can cover in that. Afterwards, you can go for the academic standards what are given, okay, in your textbook. Next, if not given in your textbook, you can go for the 9th class or 10th class, you will get the academic standards. Okay, and after academic standards, you can go for the keywords, total topics. By mentioning topic name, you have to write some keywords and syllables and meanings. Okay. Afterward, you can start that lesson. Then lesson lesson style sheet and the particular related diagram. Okay. After the drawing the diagram, you can go for the keywords. In here, you have to write the keywords. What keywords are given your backside of the lesson, that you have to mention. That you have to mention. Okay. So after writing the keywords, in that keywords also same as the syllables, meanings how to write it. Then next keywords after, you can go for the improve learning. Then in that improve learning, you have to write the question answers clearly with black pen. Question and answers with blue pen. Next, if any diagram is needed, you can draw that. And next, you can go for the fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Next, any multiple choice are there, you can go for the multiple choice. Laterwards, you can go for the activity. So what diagrams are not covered in the question answers, the diagrams you can uh, draw in the activity, or your teacher also will give some diagrams for activity. Okay, so that you have to draw in the activity. And we will have activities also in that lessons that related by helping like help of your teacher, you just can draw. Okay, so this is a way of writing CW in beautiful manner, children. So you have to follow this way. And next, you can go for the here. So here, as in the last session, so we have discussed about the cytoplasm, nucleus, and some of cell organelles. So here, cytoplasm is considered as a heterogeneous material, right? So here, just you observe the jelly-like substance between the nucleus. Jelly-like substance between the nucleus and the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm. The jelly-like substance between the nucleus and the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is a heterogeneous material. Ask your teacher why it is called as heterogeneous. So let us go for the heterogeneous. See here, heterogeneous term stands that there must be two or more different phases in the systems, such as liquid, solid, and gas. Okay, here we can see the two phases in the cytoplasm. So that's why here we are considering as a heterogeneous. So here it's contain membrane bound structure called cell organelles. Okay, as well as more complex chemicals. Cell organelles help to carry out several functions within the cell, and you will study that in 9th class. The cell, the basic unit of functional structural and functional unit of the living body. So here, cytoplasm will have two phases. Okay, so that's why here the cytoplasm is considered as a heterogeneous. The phases may be in solid, liquid, or sometimes gas also. Okay, the heterogeneous term stands that there must be two or more different phases. Okay, two or more different phases in the system, such as liquid, solid, and gas. So cytoplasm here, cytoplasm is the system that is composed of other tiny macromolecules. Okay, macromolecules which are called cell organelles and water. See here. Here, this cytoplasm consists of tiny macromolecules, okay, which are cell organelles and water also. Like here in the cytoplasm, we can see the cell organelles and water. Tiny macromolecules we can see, and along with that water also we can see. So like here we can see the two different. So that's why we are considering here cytoplasm is a heterogeneous. In different situations we can uh, uh, use this heterogeneous for chemistry and biology also. Here, so cytoplasm composed of the tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles and water also. Here we have cell organelles and water. So here water is in liquid state, whereas tiny macromolecules which are called cell organelles are solid. So here, according to heterogeneous, the term starts that there must be two or more different phases in the systems, such as maybe solid liquid or solid liquid and gas also. But here in cytoplasm, we can see the two phases. Okay, one is a cell organelles are in solid phase and water H2O in liquid state. So Here water is in liquid state, whereas tiny macromolecules are in solid. So here we can see that two. So that's why it is considering as a heterogeneous. Okay. So here water is in liquid state, whereas tiny macromolecules, which are called cell organelles, are solid. Hence, cytoplasm is considered as the heterogeneous material as it comprises cell organelles and water. So that is the reason behind of that cytoplasm. Okay, that's why we are calling that heterogeneous material. Next, diversity in cells. Diversity in cells. See, children, here in onion peel cells, you have seen that nearly all cells are similar in structure and shape, right? Okay, in onion peel cells, you have seen that nearly all cells are similar in structure and shape. If you repeat this experiment with the peels of onions of different size, peels of onion of a different size, what do you think your observation would be? And do bigger onions have bigger cells? There are millions of living organisms in nature. They have different shapes and size, children, and vary in the number of cells they contain. Okay, vary in the number of cells also. To know more about this, let us observe some more cells. Okay, you will observe a permanent slide of amoeba, paramecium, and chlamydomonas. See, children, here amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, these are the examples of single-celled organisms. Okay, so here in the chapter on microorganisms also we can see these all these are single-celled. All these are single-celled. See here, look at the screen, all of you. Chlamydomonas, amoeba. Okay, and paramecium also you have familiar with that. So these all are single-celled and are called unicellular organisms. All are single-celled and unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. So which organism consists of one cell, single cell? Those are considered as single-celled organisms. Okay, as we discussed. Okay, and you know already about the single-celled organisms, right? Which organism consists of single cell? Those are considered as a unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. Next, see here. In this single cell is capable of performing all the life processes. Okay, because there is no chance to division of labor, because there is no chance to divide the work for other tissue, other cells, because there is no other cell. Only single cell is present. The single cell only can perform all the functions. So single cell is capable of performing all the life processes like obtaining. What processes are obtaining food, respiration, excretion, growth, and reproduction. Okay, so if there is a more than one cell, maybe the different cells can form in a groups, and maybe they can perform a different functions, and we can see the division of labor. But here in chlamydomonas, amoeba, paramecium, all are comes under unicellular organisms. So in these unicellular organisms, we don't have chance to see the division of labor, because there is only one cell, single cell. The single cell only, single cell is capable of performing all the life processes. All the life process can be performed by single cell. That's and okay, those processes, life process are like obtaining food and respiration next excretion, next growth, and reproduction. Okay. So here living organisms. Living organisms. See here, living organisms having more than one cell. Okay. So living organisms are like which having more than one cell is called multicellular organisms. Living organisms which having more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. Okay, multicellular organisms. Basic life processes in multicellular organisms are carried out by a variety of cells. Variety of cells, and we can see the division of labor. Right? So here given somewhat figures, figure number 9A, 9B, 9C, like Chlamydomonas and amoeba. Next, Escherichia coli. This is a bacteria, children. Escherichia coli is a bacteria. Next, unicellular organisms like figure number 10, cells in a grass blade. Okay, grass blade. Like, okay. Next, we will have here activity 6. Activity 6. See here, observing cells in a leaf. What is our sixth activity? Observing cells in a leaf. So here you have to take a piece of grass leaf, grass leaf on the slide, put a drop of water, cover it with a cover slip and observe it under the microscope. So as I told many times how to collect that and why we should put a drop of water and why we need to cover it with cover slip, you know very well. And you have to observe that under the microscope. Then is your observation similar to the given figure number 10? You just compare. Okay, how many different types of cells or groups of cells could you see in the section? Okay, you can do this experiment with other leaves as well, and it would be preferable to choose thin leaves, because if you prefer the thin leaves, you can able to see the proper structure and you can study well about that. So thin sample you have to select. You have to collect the thin one. Okay. Here figure number 11. Transverse section TS of dicot stem. Transverse section. Okay. Transverse section of dicot stem. See here. You will have a monocot and dicots. What is cots, sir? Okay. So monocotyledons are called monocots and dicotyledons are called dicots, children. Okay. So monocotyledons are called monocot and dicotyledons are called dicots. So what is cots, sir? Cotyledon, first of all. So here, when the seed is going to see, children, when you keep the seed in the soil, it will give like from the seed leaves. Okay. If that gives single leaf, seed leaf, that is called seed leaf. If which particular plant consists that single seed leaf, those are comes under monocotyledons or monocots, and which have that two seed leaves, then those are comes under dicotyledons or dicots. Okay. So with respect to seed leaf, also categorized. So with respect to the seed leaf is a cotyledon or cot. If that seed consists a single leaf, that is a monocotyledon or monocot. If that seed consists of seed leaves, so those are comes under dicotyledons or dicots. Here tridax means nothing but gaddi chemanti. Okay, so gaddi chamanti is one of the example for dicot. Okay, it means dicotyledon. That seed consists of two leaves. Okay, it means directly it not while it's growing like when that seed rupture to grow, then it will give the two seed leaves. From that only the growing will takes place, and the two seed leaves we can observe. So that's why dicotyledon means two seed leaves, nothing but dicots. Dicots. This triodax comes under dicot stem. Okay, transverse section of dicot stem, triodax gaddi chamanti. Okay, so here observe the given diagram of a section of the stem of spinach or triodax. Your wish. Okay, note the different types of cells that you observe in the section figure number 11. Did you recognize four types of cells? A, B, C, and D shown in the figure. Here, shown in the figure, like four. Okay. Did you see? Did you recognize four types of cells? Here given A, B, C, D. Okay. So by taking help of this picture, you have to like while you are observing, compulsory you should keep a observation book with you. So while you are observing, you have to draw the observation diagram in your observation book and compare it with your textual figure, like figure number 11. And you can see that like you can recognize the four types of cells like as given in the figure A, B, C, A, B, C. Okay. And here A, B, C, D. Four you can recognize. Four. Okay. And here, then you can compare your observation with your textual book. Okay. Diagram. Next. See here, group A. So next, let us discuss about the group A. Here we have four types of cells. Group of cells A, B, C, D. Now let us go for the A. Then A, group A. Group A cells form the outermost layer of the stem, and they give shape. They give shape to the stem as well as production. Okay. So here group A cells form the outermost layer of the stem, and they give shape to the stem as well as production. Okay. Next, then you can expect. So what is the name of A? Epidermis. Okay, children, please write epidermis near A. Epidermis. Okay, a group of cells form the outermost layer. Epidermis cells form the outermost layer of the stem. Outermost layer of the stem. Okay, group A. So epidermis cells form the outermost layer of the stem, and they give shape to the stem. Who will give shape to the stem? These particular A cells can give the shape to the stem, and as well as protection also. Shape and production. So here you just write epidermis. Next, major portion of stem is made up of group B cells. Look at the screen, all of you. Observe diagram. Here, major portion of stem. Major portion of stem is made up of group B cells. In a green stem, this portion has special organs that carry out photosynthesis. Okay. Here, you have to know that a major portion of stem is made up of group B cells. In a green stem, this portion has a special organs that carry out of photosynthesis. A green color is there, then you just can decide then photosynthesis process can be carried out by this particular group of cells. See, right here, near B, cortex. Okay, chlorenchyma, chlorophyll, chlorenchyma. You just can mention here it B. Okay, major portion of stem is made up of group B cells. In a green stem, this portion has a special organs that carry out photosynthesis. Cortex, chlorenchyma. Okay, I repeat once again. See here, after doing the experiment, you can see the 4 group of cells A, B, C, D. Observe the diagram. So group A cells form the outermost layer of the stem. What is the use of group A cells? Group A cells form the outermost layer of the stem, and those cells give shape to the stem as well as protection. Okay, you just mention here near a epidermis. Epidermis. Next, major portion of stem is made up of the major portion of stem is made up of group B cells. Okay, in a green stem, this portion has a special organs. This portion has a special organs that carry out photosynthesis process. Here you just mention cortex, chlorenchyma. Okay, children. Then about group C cells and group D cells, let us discuss in next class. As a time of, I'm going to wind up the session. In next class, we can discuss about group C cells and group D cells. Okay, laterwards we can go for the activity 7 and some more interesting topic like about elephant and humans. Okay, so like are the cells in an elephant larger than the cells in a man? Like how the cells are arranged? If the particular organism body like heavy, it means like cells are bigger in that, like that some things are there. So let us discuss in next class, and I'm going to wind up the session. Thank you one and all.